Welcome to the Conscious Radio Network's YouTube channel. Become enlightened, have fun, and tell all your friends and family to share with everyone they know. You can find us on Facebook and stay up to date on our Facebook group, or find us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Our podcasts can be found on Libsyn, iHeart, Spotify, Google Podcast, and more. Most of all, remember to go to our official website at consciousradionetwork.com for podcasts, hosts, future shows, and scheduling. We also want to welcome our international audience. Don't stop now. Enjoy the community. Subscribe today.
This is the Conscious Radio Network.
Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you might be on this spaceship we call Earth. Welcome to Conscious Radio Network's weekly podcast series, The Seance. I'm your host, Reverend Dr. Paul Meckes. If this is your first time tuning in, please click subscribe, follow, like, share, comment, and wherever you listen to your podcast. Today, our guest today has helped many people transform their physical and mental health. His ultimate goal is to help transform other people's lives, from their mind to their bodies, no matter their fitness goals. Whether you want to gain muscle and strength, burn fat, do a body recomposition, or simply just gain more flexibility and mobility, he wants to help you become an even better you. Let's welcome to the show, for the first time, Roman Fischer.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's a pleasure being here.
Pleasure. I want to thank, I'm not a paid sponsor yet, but I'd like to thank Podmatch for this. So if they're going to be listening, ding, ding, for both of us.
Oh, yeah. That's definitely.
Yeah. So how did this, let me rephrase that. Normally I always start, how did this all start for you? What was your health like before all this? Because something had to trigger this.
Yeah, certainly. So that's a great question. Let me be honest. When I first, was really just with my eating habits, right out of the gate, before I got into health and fitness, it was not very healthy. Let me just be real with you. I would literally snack on and eat anything in sight. So whether it was candy, any candy out there, or any other like fast food or any type of food that you could imagine, I would literally have my hands all over it and my mouth was all over it. So I did not pay mind to my health, just to put it lightly. And I wasn't really brought up in a very unhealthy family, but it wasn't a very, very health conscious family either. So almost anything went, so long as you weren't always eating fast food every single day. My family was still pretty relaxed on diet, and that kind of rubbed off on me some. And really just being that guy that was a gamer and not really wanting to do much physical activity too, that didn't help my, health at that time. And I didn't really ever care about, what I ate or drank. I wasn't really overweight per se, but I wasn't really in good shape. I was skinny, believe it or not, despite a lot of the food I would eat. I guess I can thank my high metabolism for that. But even still, I wasn't really too conscious about what I was putting in my body. And with that, it really did affect my sleep and just my overall energy. I felt more sluggish. Even though I was skinny, I felt very sluggish, as if I had a lot of weight on me, because all those, all that sugar and all those unhealthy foods just didn't really, it really impacted my sleep in a very negative way. So I'm glad I stepped away from that. I'll say that, and just rethought my whole, diet, if you want to call it a diet, and just my whole, everyday life cycle and what I do with my body and what I put in my body.
Yeah. Now, was this a gradual conscious decision, or was there some sort of like maybe a health event trigger, like, oh my God, I gotta, like one day you wake up and you have this stomach ache and you have to go to the doctor, and next thing you know, you get all these tests done.
Yeah.
Or was it just like a slow kind of just internal conscious change around, flip-flop?
Yeah, to be honest with you, it was a combination of both. I will say initially, though, it was at the very start, predominantly a huge shock of something that
Hmm.
happened in my family. That's what really triggered it. But after that, it was still a gradual process. I
Yeah.
did go from eating very unhealthy to very clean after this event in my family took place. But after that took place and I started eating healthy, I still wasn't always 100% with my diet like I am now. It did take time to eventually build up to where I'm at now. But not saying that event in my family did not, change what I put in my body. Because overall, I will say that event really triggered a lot of how I am today. But after, a lot of life experiences and research, with looking up on the internet what's really good for you, what's not, and just really
Mhm.
researching after getting my certification to in personal training, what really is and what really isn't good for you. And just after much experience within fitness, I gradually started making even better changes, even after finding out some news in my family that really shifted me, you could say.
Yeah. Now, did your shift change your family and friends' insight on this? Did you notice any of them taking the change, going, "Man, it seems to be working for you. Let me try it."
Yeah, honestly, yeah, they didn't take it as quickly as I did. They did start seeing me, get involved in some organic food and really just being extra conscious about what I put in my body. I'll be honest, a lot of people really thought I was, in a sense, a little, crazy, or you could even say a little picky for
Mm.
just wanting to select organic foods and thinking that it's a little extreme, if you will. But and
Yeah.
that was a rap for a while that I got from my friends and family. But after doing it for quite some time, they realized the positive changes it had on my body, not just with eating organic, but also just eating healthier in general. And they could
Yeah.
see like me sleeping better, they could see me functioning better, and just my mood would elevate. And the ADHD that I used to have, it started diminishing quite a bit, and it
Huh.
was easier just to focus on each task that I had throughout the day and throughout the week. And
Wow.
so after that, yeah, that's what really rubbed off on them. Seeing the changes within me, them seeing that really helped them make that change then.
Yeah, seeing the personality change, your energy change, more involved and engaged in life. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it does a
Yeah.
lot. When you're around that person, you see that transformation, especially over time. You can't really help but, just accept that they're doing something right, whatever it is. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's really neat.
Yeah. Um, so you're certified with the NASM. Explain that.
Yes. Yeah, the National Academy of Sports Medicine. So I got certified with them when I was about, yeah, this is 2019. So that's when I got certified with them a few years back. And I just really wanted to take my learning experiences in fitness to the next level. And I just wanted to learn more exercises, the techniques, how to do them, good rep ranges and workouts, just depending on someone's fitness goal and fitness level. And just really after studying that and passing that on my first take, actually, which
Yeah.
that was cool. But after passing that, it just helped me gain a lot of knowledge that I didn't have before. And it better equipped me for how I wanted to help people with their lives and their fitness goals, especially after, that recent event that happened within my family.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, how long have you been immersed in practicing this? How long has it been?
Yeah, so I've actually been into fitness, at least for my own self, ever since I was 15 years old.
Hmm.
So let's see, 8 years, almost a whole decade,
Wow.
basically a decade if you round it off. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's been a while, and it's cool. I swore off soda and all, caffeine outside of like coffee, like because coffee in moderation is not bad, but I swore off all like, soda and unhealthy drinks and artificial colors and flavorings for about that time. It's been probably more about 5 or 6 years that I've cut those things out of my diet. But I've been in fitness for almost a whole decade. It's really cool. And It's
Yeah.
just something you can't really ever turn back from. It's that road you take and you just got to keep driving down.
Yeah, that's definitely a door that you open, and there isn't, most of the time there is no way going back. Because
Oh yeah.
it's like a person drinking alcohol every night and waking up with a hangover. There's going to be a point where hopefully, where a person goes, I never want to wake up in the morning feeling like that again.
Exactly.
And
Yeah, I mean it's like self-defeating otherwise,
yeah,
and you have to be basically wanting to kill yourself otherwise. So like just making that positive change, it's cool because it's a healthy addiction versus the
yeah,
unhealthy addiction sadly most people face.
yeah, yeah. Um, so I was gonna ask what got some of the questions you got here, but now what is there a consistency as far as like in your own routine? Do you maintain a consistent routine every day, or do you kind of like spread things out through the week, or
Yeah,
for the exercises and stuff?
definitely. So yeah, when it comes to exercise, I typically keep a similar set routine for myself when I go to the gym and work out. I will say I'll occasionally switch it every 4 to 6 weeks just to switch it up and challenge my body further, especially if I'm trying to go from a bulking phase to a cutting phase or vice versa. I like to just mimic, the weight I'll use. I like to add in circuit training or supersets, especially if I'm trying to lose fat and burn fat.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I'm just trying to, gain muscle, I'll usually just go for straight sets and maybe a superset every once in a while just to challenge my muscle still. But just depending on like the overall training goal that I'm aiming for and aiming towards, that's when I like to adjust my workout regimen accordingly. And then, of
Yeah.
course, I'll usually add in more cardio if I'm trying to burn more calories and burn more fat too.
Hmm. Now, let me put together a scenario. Um, After this first question, what
Yep.
seems to be the most common thing that your clients come to first off that they want to improve? Like the very first thing, like
Yeah.
or symptoms and stuff.
Yeah, so depending on their age, that can factor in a lot. I will say if they're usually older, it tends to be weight loss and improving, flexibility and just reducing pain and aches on their body and in
Mm.
their body. That's typically the main thing. Just trying to lose weight and improve, and reduce pain, if not eliminate pain completely. That's like the
Yeah,
main core thing. Now, if they're more, I would say, 30 to middle age, maybe it's just losing weight for the most part.
yeah, and then and I mean, I think everybody's probably. I wouldn't say everybody. A lot of people have the flexibility issues. As you get older,
Oh
you
yeah.
you lose the flexibility, and
Yeah,
I vouch for
definitely.
that. I mean, I don't. I used to run track when I was in high school and do a lot of cross country stuff. If I could do that now, wow. Um, Maybe I should get into karate.
Oh yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like um now the no, I forgot what I was going to segue into. This is very interesting. I love this topic because this is
Yeah.
a topic I think that I've yet to touch on my show.
Nice.
So this will segue into probably more and more and more.
Oh yeah.
Um, so the trying to think here. The explain uh, if someone were to first come to you and say, "Hey, I want to be on a program. Put me on a program." What would be the first your startup plan?
Yeah. So before I would even initially put them on the program, I would want to first analyze, and usually this is what I do is I first analyze what their goals are, their age, height, weight, all those basic, measurements and statistics about their body and themselves. When I finally dial that in and I find out their goals, what they've tried to get to their goals, and any roadblocks or obstacles keeping them from those set goals, after that, then I put together a more customized plan just centered around that with a, customized meal plan, customized fitness training plan. And then also I like to set up just 2 calls a week with them and just go over just their, struggles, what they've been doing in the gym, how the workouts are going, how the meals are going, and just their overall sleep, energy, confidence, and even stuff outside of fitness, just their overall life, how just their life's going. And I like to just keep them accountable and basically be their mentor, not just, with fitness, but also in life. So in a sense, a life coach to you.
Yeah. Yeah. Now this is easily done remotely, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, of course you can do it, in person. I've done that a couple of times, but really for the most part, I've mainly just done virtual or online fitness coaching and training for my clients.
Yeah. The big thing that's going on right now is we see all these. The diet's very important for everything. I mean, if you want to get into physical regimen, then diet's really important. There's so many diets out there. I mean,
Yeah.
you've got the keto diet, you got the pescatarian diet, you've got different. I can't even name them
Paleo,
all.
Atkins.
Yeah,
Yeah. It goes on and
it's
on.
like
Yeah.
there's so many out there,
The ice diet.
and it's just. I mean, one's better than the other. What is your thought on those?
Yeah. So honestly, I'll be just 100% real with you. Diets in themselves are actually not required or necessary to achieve your goals, even when it comes to losing weight and losing fat. All it really and truly boils down to is being in that caloric deficit if you're losing weight, or being in a caloric surplus if you're trying to gain muscle and put on size on your body. So that's all it comes down to. And of course, having a lot of protein, no matter if you're trying to burn fat or gain muscle, to either maintain or build upon that muscle. So that's all it really boils down to. And then, of course, just making sure to get, some veggies in, some organic veggies, preferably, but even just veggies and fruits, just in moderation with those lean proteins. That's mainly all it boils down to. Now, I will say this, if you do want to do the keto diet or paleo diet or any other diet out there, you technically can, and you could still see results if you are in that caloric deficit or caloric surplus. But you just got to make sure that if you're doing any of these diets, that's fine if it's your preference, but make sure that you can stick to it long term. The problem is most people can't, because they're typically very restrictive, because they usually want to cut out at least one or more food groups. And in doing so, you're restricting yourself quite a bit. And if you like carbs and you're doing the keto diet, you're probably not sticking to it, at least not for the long haul. So I just prefer anyone that wants to lose weight or gain muscle to not use the word diet, or at least not follow the fad diet routine that most people fall into and sadly fail in, and just focus on the calories that you're putting in your body, how many calories, and the quality of those calories you're putting in your body.
And is it correct me if I'm wrong, that if you're gonna go on a particular diet, that it should be complementary to some sort of a fitness program?
But say that again.
That if you were to go on any type of diet or any type of fitness program, basically it's like they both complement each other. That if somebody wants to lose weight or gain muscle, well, let's just say lose weight, because there's so many people out there that just want to trim down, and everybody thinks, or a lot of people are thinking, oh, I'm just going to go on a diet and lose weight. That fitness should complement that, should go with it rather than just a diet. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. And, diet is most of it, though, I will admit. Your diet, if you want to call it a diet, or just really your meal regimen and what you're eating and putting in your body, that is 80% of it. Working out's about the other 20% of it, with, workouts, whether it be cardio or weightlifting. So that is also very important, though, because, if you're not getting any physical activity in, you could still lose weight if you're in enough of a deficit, but you won't see as good of results. And then if you don't work out and you're just focusing on nutrition only, you'll have to have less calories even than if you were to have that meal plan and, your fitness regimen, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. What seems to be the most popular, the clients that you seek and work with? What seems to be a popular meal plan?
Oh yeah, typically I will say for a little bit it was the keto, because I didn't just say you have to do the keto. I just left it up to them and they preferred
Yeah.
that. So I was like, hey, if that's what you prefer, that's what we'll do. And they saw results because they still, were in that caloric deficit. So that was good. But I will say now, for the most part, it's really just a balanced diet. Typically a caloric deficit diet, but a balanced high protein diet. That's been
Yeah.
the most popular one around.
Yeah. I'm guilty of this, and a lot of people are guilty of this, is skipping meals or
Oh yeah.
skipping entirely, just a snack. I mean, if you feel hungry, eat something.
Yeah.
But I get caught in this all the time where, you're just busy and busy and busy, and you don't have anything, and you say, well, I'll just wait till this afternoon, or I'll wait till the meal tonight. What are your thoughts on that as far as the health aspect?
Yeah, I feel like I really do believe that skipping meals isn't necessarily bad per se, but don't starve yourself no matter what you do. Throughout your day, just make sure you're still getting in your calories. I will say this, if it's too taxing on your body, don't skip the meal. If you can just get a protein shake in, or even like a protein bar that
Yeah.
doesn't have all those artificial colors and ingredients, I would just say opt for that. At least have something like that, or even just a sugar-free smoothie without all that added sugar in, and just have some kind of meal replacement that you can take with you, if that helps. I mean, because most people, or at least some people, their bodies can't really deal with skipping a meal because it's really taxing on their energy and their overall
Yeah. Yeah.
body and its internal system. I will say, if you do want to skip a meal though, and your body can handle it, I mean, go for it. If you want to like intermittent fast, that's not bad per se, but just make sure that you're not having all your meals in one meal. Because some people have done that OMAD diet, which, I'll be real, it's something you could do, but it's not really something I recommend because that's a lot of food at once.
Mhm.
So even if you skip meals, just make sure your body can handle it. And then second, and the last thing I would recommend is, if your body can handle it, make sure to not, still have your meals spread out enough where you're still not forcing all your meals into one, sitting, because
Yeah.
that's too much food to digest for your body.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't do it.
Thanksgiving dinner, Christmas dinner. It's like, oh man.
Oh yeah, if you know
That's a
anything
lot of
about
food.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Uh, what are your thoughts on seems like fasting's been around for a long time. But
Oh yeah.
I see so many people going, oh, I'm gonna do a 3-day fast or this fast and whatnot. What are your thoughts on that? Comes to
Yeah, for sure. So I believe that fasting can be okay. Again, if your body can handle it and you're able to actually deal with not eating for X amount of time, you could do so, but just make sure not to go too long without food, because as we all know, too long without food is basically lethal, just like
yeah,
without liquids or any water. So make sure to not overdo it. I know some people that have, and it's not a good thing. So
it's not fun. No.
do it in moderation. That's my best recommendation. And I also highly suggest, if you are new to fasting, don't just go all out and fast for, a whole day or like a whole few days. Fast for maybe like a few hours, or do intermittent fasting just to start out with, and maybe have one day a week just to do that intermittent fasting, just to get your body used to it and get your feet wet, so to speak.
Hmm.
So basically what I mean by that is, you could fast for 16 hours and eat the other 8 hours. So you could just start fasting at 12 and then have that 8 hour eating window. And then after that, you could fast for the other 16 hours, typically mainly when you're sleeping. And that can help too, just basically skipping breakfast and having lunch and dinner. That's what I recommend for most people that have never fasted before. That way it's not too much on your body, and better to fast less than fast a lot if you don't know how your body might react. So that's what I recommend on that.
Yeah. And especially right now at the time that we're recording this, I mean, this will be broadcasting in October, but we've got a lot of heat going on. I mean, the temperatures, the weather, so much heat. People are dehydrating. And do you have any thoughts and any words of wisdom as far as for hydration and how can we tell if we need to hydrate more?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a great question. So really, you also got to be very aware. You have to be very aware of where you live, because geographically, your geographical location will determine a lot of that. Because if you're living in, let's say, Arizona, one of the hottest states in the US, and it's dry heat, so your body won't really let you know excuse me, your body won't really signal you or let you know as well that you're dehydrated, because you won't be sweating. You won't really tell as easily if you're actually dehydrated. You will dehydrate a lot easier and sooner though, because there's not much humidity. So there's not much moisture going in and around your body. So with that, I recommend just being extra hydrated and being extra aware of your surroundings. So if you're in a hot desert climate, make sure to have at least, I would say, a gallon, if not even sometimes 2 gallons of water, especially if you're outside a lot, in that desert heat. Now, if you're, in a more, let's say, subtropical climate like Florida, you don't really need to drink as much water. But if you're outside and if you're an athlete, especially like most people in Florida want to be, I recommend then having more of at least a gallon of water, I would say. So a gallon of water, I would say, is pretty good universally for most people, especially if you're either an athlete or you're outside, especially with how hot it's been. I mean, it's been blistering hot almost everywhere in this country lately. It's nuts. But yeah, I would say just be very aware of, how your body's reacting and responding throughout the day. Check your urine. I know it's gross, but just make sure it's not yellow or not too yellow. Try to make it as clear as possible. And from there, just make sure that you have water with you just all the time. Preferably try to get a gallon thermos. Gallon thermoses you could get at like your local store, like a Walmart. And what's cool is it'll keep that water cool, so it's refreshing still and hydrating. But also it's a gallon, so you could be set for basically the whole day. Wow. So I recommend that as well, just being very aware of your surroundings and what you have with you, and just being resourceful.
Yeah, I keep a big 62 ounce half gallon thing with me wherever I go, especially outside, stuff like that. I always refill it and whatnot, but at least have it with me.
Oh yeah, that's how you do it.
Yeah. Is there a trick to I heard something years ago, I'm not sure if this is true, but someone said grab a 18 or 20 ounce bottle of water and just like chug it, and just, especially if it's the first thing you drank during the day. And they're like, oh, wait at least an hour. If you haven't urinated within the first hour, you're dehydrated. Is that anywhere near the truth?
Yeah, that's crazy. I've never honestly heard someone. I've never heard someone say that. I've never heard someone say that. I will say this: as long as your mouth's not overly dry, and as long as, again, your urine's not really yellow or overly yellow, you should be fine. I've always been told and taught, and I've always learned that as a general rule, whenever you urinate, if it's white, you're hydrated, you're good. So you want that to be as much, a color for your urine throughout much of the day as possible. You want your urine to be as white as possible throughout the whole day to ensure just total 100% hydration.
Yeah, absolutely. Huh. Now, when it comes to the medical profession and insurance companies out there that like for instance your program and your system that you've developed, there's so many people out there that want to do good for themselves. They want to have that New Year's resolution and just really go full force and improve themselves, but they can't afford it.
Oh yeah.
Are these programs such as yours being recognized by insurance companies for coverage or being able to, supplement, for those that can't really afford these big programs and stuff, or referred by doctors?
Yeah. Yeah. So that's a really great question too. Honestly, I have had one of my clients check with their insurance companies and they were able to actually get approved. So that is something that could be an option. And it really depends on your insurance company too, and like, how much they coverage and how much they cover and stuff like that, with their coverage. But yeah, it really just depends on their insurance company. But yeah, I've had some that, one in particular that comes to mind that actually went through their insurance and they were able to still get the results that they needed
good.
then. Yeah.
That's good.
Oh, yeah.
That's a breath of fresh air and some hope that, some of these establishments are starting to recognize it and actually do good.
Yeah. Yeah, most insurance companies, I hate to say it, most insurance companies don't really care. Like it's not cool, but yeah, it's really not. It really is actually, it's actually really, really crappy how a lot of the insurance companies are.
Yeah. Yeah. And getting bigger and bigger and have more power over stuff, which
Oh yeah.
I'd have on YouTube, but if we got into that, that would be a whole show and it wouldn't be on YouTube. So.
Oh no. YouTube says what YouTube says.
Exactly. Now, as far as like body recomposition, define that.
Yeah, so basically that is someone or anyone that's trying to lose weight, burn fat, and gain muscle about at the same time. And I know it does sound crazy. Most people say to just focus on one thing or one goal and objective at a single given time. Yeah. And while that is true for much of the time, you can actually still do a body recomposition successfully, but your gains and fat loss won't be nearly as good or as great. It'll still be worth it, but it won't be as, monumental of a change or transformation because you're trying to kind of do two goals at the same time. And it's like, okay, so gain a little muscle, burn a little fat in the process. It works. But if you were just to focus on one thing at a time, it's a lot more effective. But body recompositions, it's still a good goal. I mean, you can still make it work. I've had some clients that gained some muscle, burned some fat, and they did it pretty well with my help. But it wouldn't have been as great, if they would have just done one goal at a time. But that is a way to work around trying to just go from one thing to the next. And it takes a little less time to still see results on both sides then. So there's pros and cons, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. What's been the most biggest breakthrough or a testimonial that you'd like to share from any of your clients?
Yeah, definitely. So one of my clients in particular, and she's cool with me saying her name, but Pamela, she's literally went from 200 pounds and now she's hovering right at 179. And it's cool. She did that in only about 2.5 months. Her first 2.5 months. Yeah, she did it. And what's cool is when she lost that, weight, burnt that fat, she didn't have like a lot of stretch marks, none of that. She looked toned. toned, even a little muscular, not like, bodybuilder muscular. So don't worry if you're listening and you're a girl. She did lose that weight, got really toned, got, toned muscle, not huge muscle. And then also just, yeah, her curves were there, and she looked great. I mean, her confidence was also there. You could see her going from feeling and even looking pretty down and depressed and fatigued to becoming just a lot more confident. You can see the glow in her face, and just the overall like complexion even on her skin and body just looked that much better and healthier. It's really cool. Yeah.
Now, a lot of people are like, I used to go to the gym all the time, many different gyms, so many different types and stuff like that. And
yeah,
sometimes you get burnt out. It's like you just get burnt out, and you're like, man, I'd rather do this at home. I'd rather do this instead of leaving the house and having to go out of my way, because everybody's got a busy life nowadays.
Oh yeah,
and
definitely.
It's discouraging, and I think that's why a lot of people kind of stop going to the gym, because it gets discouraging. It feels like you have to go even further out of your way and do your exercise somewhere where some people out there might feel uncomfortable going to the gym, and they'd rather do it in their own home. Do you see that becoming more of a fad, so to speak? Is just
yeah, definitely, especially after COVID and the pandemic that happened in our country and really just the world. Most people wanted to start working out at home, and understandably so. I mean, yeah, that's one of the things I would say that really shifted that, oh, I got to go to the gym mindset to I can just work out at home. Like, why even bother? Why pay for that membership? Why, have people, or even if people aren't looking at me, why have that, fear that people might be looking at me, judging me, and seeing, oh, well, I'm not really losing weight, I'm not making progress type thing. And just being more comfortable at home and more secure in their home living space. So that's definitely been a very huge upward trend ever since COVID happened. And then I would say after that, people just got more comfortable being at home. Yeah. And I mean, some people don't even get back to work now and are just doing that unemployment thing, which, I mean, teach their own. But I will say, yeah, the upward trend of home workouts, yeah, it's definitely on the rise for sure.
Yeah. I mean, if you're really doing like bodybuilding and stuff like that, yeah, the gym is.
Yeah, it is better in that
for it.
in that regard. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And I'm sure you've got probably a good long list of very specific techniques for at home, from the tension bands to, I mean, all different types of tricks and stuff like that. Yep.
Yeah.
But we'll allow people to research that themselves by going to your website, and they can go to your website at romanfisherofficial.com, correct?
That is correct.
I'll contact you. I want the tricks. Come on. I need some help.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. I think I asked as many questions as I have, and I'm sure a lot of people have a lot of questions, which is why when this broadcasts, that we have a live chat for those who haven't subscribed to the channel. When this broadcasts, they can go into the live chat, and if you're available to be with us or moderate the show and stuff like that, and anybody has any questions about fitness or your program and stuff like that, you can just sit there in the background and answer any questions that people might have, and reach out to you directly, or but so do you have any big takeaways for our audience today?
Yeah, I will say this. So just some words of encouragement, wisdom, inspiration. No matter your goal, no matter how long you've been working towards that said specific goal, no matter what you've tried, and no matter the setbacks you've got, whether they were small or big, huge obstacles and setbacks, just remember this is a process. This is a journey. This isn't something that you're just going to achieve in a obtain overnight. This is definitely a marathon, not a sprint. So don't expect immediate overnight results. I know I've been guilty of that. When I first started fitness, you just want to see those results right away. You want to see that six pack right away, maybe, or maybe you just want to get super big right away. Whatever your goals are and whatever objective you're going towards in life and in fitness specifically, just remember that you'll get there. It's already happened. Time just hasn't caught up yet. So just remember that.
Yeah. It takes determination, a lot of determination.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Amen, brother. Amen.
Oh yeah. That's the only way to be. I mean, because most people get caught up in just the end result or whatever end result they want to achieve, but they don't ever really enjoy the path or journey. And when they're in that mindset, they're not as easily going to get to that, said end destination.
Yeah. Do you have any words of wisdom when it comes to people just dropping out and quitting?
Yes. Yeah. I would recommend for anyone out there that, used to be working out and very consistent, maybe if you quit, it's understandable. Don't be too hard on yourself, because that's where most people will fail, when they quit and then they regret quitting, and then they really just start hating themselves and really start practicing that negative self inner talk. So instead of doing that, just zoom out, look at the bigger picture, understand you're human, you mess up, everyone messes up, I've messed up, and I'll admit it, I've messed up, I still mess up once in a while. Not to say I'm quitting my fitness journey, but yeah, we all mess up though, that's the point. And just know that, take it in small, gradual steps. Get back in the zone. Find whatever inspired you, whatever made you start to begin with. Remember that reason. After you finally can recall and remember that reason on why you even started, then tap into that. And after tapping into that, take small, gradual steps towards that goal. And just have that in the back of your mind, why you started. And if it helps, write down why you started your fitness journey in the first place. And that can really keep you consistent, not just motivate you, but that can actually keep you and hold you accountable to that goal. And from there, it'll be a lot harder to actually give up then after that.
And especially at the very beginning, when you said write it down, I was thinking of that just before you said it. I was like, right when somebody decides to take this leap is to get a journal.
Oh yeah.
Start journaling it and write it down word for word, why you're about ready to start this. Put emotion into it. What are you feeling? How are you feeling? How do you feel? What all is going on? That way you can go back.
Exactly.
Read that during those times of feeling like you want to quit, and you're like, boom, it triggers you, knocks you back on the track.
Yeah, because when you write it down, it's great. It really kills two birds with one stone, because you're not only writing it out so you can see it for later future reference on why you started that, and that gives you that inspiration and that great feeling, but it also will store it in your subconscious mind. And so by writing it down, it gets basically embedded into your mind. So you can't really ever step away from it at that point.
And what's even better, these selfie, even some of the, like TikTok, so many people put so much stuff on TikTok. Do like a selfie video, a quick selfie video of you making this leap. And once you capture yourself doing that, you can go back and look at that, because everybody's going to see those emotions. How bad did you look? Oh my God, I feel terrible, and blah, blah, blah. You look back on that and it'll really trigger the emotions and then remind you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's powerful. Yeah. Most people don't do it because they either don't think of it, they forget to do it, they get really busy and they forget, or they just feel like it's not really worthwhile and they feel like it's petty, but really it's powerful. I mean, when you actually put pen to paper and you think of, and you really just hone in on that, that starting reason, that starting why, just your overall why. And this can even be outside your fitness goals, why you started this goal, why you started that goal, just really honing in on that actual starting driving reason, that'll really do it for you.
Yeah. Put it and record it live and put it on your social network. And then that way, 1 year later, because it, like Facebook, it always reminds you, this happened last year.
The memories. Yeah. It's powerful. It's so cool. That's the one great thing about Facebook that anybody can agree on. I mean, that's huge.
Yeah. So what is new? What's on the horizon? And any breakthroughs that you're going to be doing with your work? Anything new coming down the pike?
Yeah, definitely. So let's see. Other than helping out my current clients and just really helping them achieve their overall fitness goals, I would say just really mainly completing my fitness regimen program by adding in the rest of the recorded workouts, because I actually record the workouts so they can see how to do the exercises, and I also do the voiceovers so they can actually hear and listen how to do them at the same time. So just completing that on this app, and then eventually I'm going to be, before too long, launching my own fitness app with all those workouts and voiceovers attached to it.
Cool. Awesome.
Oh yeah.
So anybody out there, everybody, check your. Basically, everything is on your website, RomanFischerOfficial.com. You're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter,
TikTok, YouTube. Oh yeah.
Yeah, there you go. I'm starting to get some stuff on the TikTok thing. I've been hounded. God, you got to do TikTok. I'm like,
it's huge. I mean, it's crazy. Like the overall growth on that platform, it's insane. I mean, that's what YouTube, I feel like that's like the old YouTube in a way, because YouTube, it's still not hard to grow on it if you do shorts like that. I've been noticing some good growth with that.
I just started doing the shorts with YouTube. So I'm like, now I'm just, if I do one for TikTok, I do the same thing and just share the platforms. Just throw.
Oh yeah, it's the easiest way. Just cross post.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Roman, it's been a pleasure, my friend. Humbled.
Yeah, it
to
has.
Have you with us today. And if anybody has any questions for Roman, tune in. Go to the live chat. If you have any questions, go to this website at RomanFischerOfficial.com. And we'll have all your information too in the video description below. Other than that, that's all I've got for the day. What do you got? Anything else?
Yeah, really just, by the end of the day, just keep at it and just keep going. No matter what anybody says, no matter what anybody tells you, no matter, the struggle, because the destination will be that much more worth it and that much more beautiful when you just keep at it. So, in final words, just keep at it.
Keep at it. Keep trucking, man. Keep trucking. Absolutely. Roman, thank you again, my friend. And,
thank you for having me.
Good luck on more of your videos and building your regiment and your routine, and helping a lot more people out there. And, we'll help get that word out. Definitely.
You know it.
Heck yeah. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on the Seance Conscious Radio Network. I do appreciate it, and we will see you next week.